transformation that I've made in my career. So how's that for raising expectations?
What are we going to learn?
You're going to learn why Herbalife is going to collapse. And that's a pretty strong statement, but this is the largest fraud in terms of scale, of countries involved, harm to people.
And right now, we are joined by the CEO of Herbalife, Michael Johnson. He has called in.
First of all, guys, this isn't about Herbalife's business model. This is about Bill Ackman's business model. This is blatant market manipulation. We're not a pyramid scheme. That's a bogus accusation. This is a legitimate company. We've been in business 32 years. Millions of customers around the world. Mr. Ackman's proposition that the United States will be better when Herbalife is gone, the United States will be better when Bill Ackman's gone.
Good. How you doing? Yep. Countdown clock. Do you want time of day or do you want to count time? I mean, we have the speaker timer. Just count going up. Count going up from 0? Yeah. You got it. Thank you, sir.
The company is clearly panicking. They know what we have.
They say, Bill, that Herbalife continues to face an unprecedented attack to support your billion-dollar bet to manipulate and drive Herbalife's stock price to 0.
Seems like all of Wall Street is against you.
Ackman is a liar. You scare the hell out of people, get the stock down, and tells the world how great he is.
You still believe this company's worth 0?
Yes.
The company is the goose that laid the golden egg. And trust me, I have never seen a goose put out so many golden eggs in my entire life.
Hedge fund CEO Bill Ackman has been managing a massive short position in Herbalife, betting the company would soon fail and that, as the price of Herbalife stock plummeted towards 0, his investors in Pershing Square would make a fortune.
Just need to be authentic.
He looks like a zombie.
Exactly.
We are managing capital for others, and most of the time we buy stakes in companies and work to make them more valuable. But in a couple times in our history, we come across a company we think is causing harm, operating illegally, and we can make money betting against that company.
How much money have you spent betting against Herbalife?
We have a short position of over $1 billion. So on the makeup, I'm kind of a less is more guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've had one other very big public short in my career, which was this short I took in a company called MBIA. You know, we were saying that a AAA rated company was basically insolvent. People thought this was absurd. The company accused us of spreading false and misleading information about their business. MBIA took 7 years for us to be proven right. And ultimately, the company collapsed during the credit crisis because of exposure to subprime mortgages. A reporter named Christine Richard at Bloomberg News got interested in the story and then ended up writing a book about my battle with MBIA called Confidence Game. And then she joined an independent research firm to focus on short ideas, companies to bet against. And she called me one day and said, Bill, I think I've got the next MBIA.
Hello, I'm Michael Johnson, Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of Herbalife. And it's my pleasure to be your guide for our tour of Herbalife. In 1980, our company founder, Mark Hughes, started with a dream. That dream was a mission for nutrition, for people to improve their health, and also to improve their financial well-being through our direct sales business opportunity, which we believe is the best in our industry. Herbalife is a multi-level marketing company, which means you can earn on your own sales, and if you are a supervisor or above, on the sales of those you introduce and sponsor directly or indirectly. Our products are available exclusively through you, our independent Herbalife distributor. That's why we have a rule about not selling through retail stores, outlets, or on auction sites.
If you look at it on the surface, it's a wildly successful company selling high-priced nutritional supplements. But going back to the 80s, there were questions about how the products were pitched, extreme promises that were made about the products, and of course, always the extreme promises about the income opportunity.
I was really committed to making Herbalife work, and I was like, I'll do whatever it takes. Whatever it takes, I'll do it.
Come out fishing this way below, and I always spotted this particular house with the staircase going down. As I grew in Herbalife, I ended up buying it.
I step out of the Ferrari, the Bentley, whatever, and people go, what does that guy do for a living? And I go, I'm an Herbalife independent distributor, and people are absolutely amazed that that's what I do. It's an incredible quality of life.
So far, in the last 90 days, the company's paid us over $15,000 part-time.
And I make right now, I can't believe it myself, over $8,000 a day, so over $3 million a year. It's unbelievable.
If I can do it, I've made a small fortune, actually a large fortune with the company. Anyone can. It's simple.
I think it's a fraudulent pitch, but it persists over decades. So it seems like it should be something that Wall Street investors would want to take a look at.
I was appropriately skeptical, which is the approach we try to take with any investment, long or short. And then a Belgian court found Herbalife to be a pyramid scheme in 2011. I thought that was kind of a materially interesting development. And that's what motivated the research. And this is a case where the more layers of the onion you peeled away, the more interesting it became.
If you follow what I say, write this down, you're going to make a minimum of $50,000 this year. That's the least amount of money that you're going to make. The second year, you'll make $125,000, and that's the least amount of money that you're going to make.
In 1986, founder Mark Hughes and Herbalife received a permanent injunction from the state of California, barring them from making false income and health claims. Nevertheless, the company continued to thrive. But 14 years later, Hughes was found dead in his Malibu home of an overdose of antidepressants and alcohol. And a group of private investors soon took control of Herbalife. Before listing the company on the New York Stock Exchange, they sought and found a new leader, Michael O. Johnson. Johnson had risen through the ranks at the Disney Corporation to become president of Disney International.
The eyes of the world are on Herbalife. We will be faster, better, stronger than ever before.
A competitive triathlete, Johnson's passion for fitness perfectly mirrored his new company's image. At Herbalife, he had a Midas touch. Revenues grew at astonishing rates, from $1.3 to $4.8 billion in his first 10 years.
But we're just getting started. We're just scratching the surface of what can be. We haven't penetrated the markets and communities anywhere close to what we're going to see.
Johnson did well by Herbalife and himself. In 2011, he was the highest paid CEO in America. His compensation package totaled $89.4 million.
Mexican sales up 31%. Asia Pacific up 29%. India 121%. South Central America 44%. This company seems to be unstoppable.
My mother and father were incredibly strong influences in my life, and integrity was the name of the game in our house. If you did something wrong, own up to it. Just never tell that lie, because you're going to lose the trust. And I think what we've done here is we've built an integrity and a trust in our organization, in our people, in our product, And if I'm the one out in front leading that, okay, I'll take that responsibility.
John DeSimone is sitting here with me. John, it's good to see you. Thanks, Scott. At this very moment, Bill Ackman and more than 500 people are inside a theater in Midtown Manhattan. Bill is getting ready to give his latest presentation, and they're watching this interview live. In his words, he's going to expose incredible fraud at Herbalife today. What do you expect?
We know this MO. This is not the first time. Matter of fact, this has been 18 months of always the gut here. It's always the bark is worse than the bite. He's made some outrageous statements. He's made 435 accusations over the last 18 months. Each one is the latest and greatest until it's proven not to be.
First of all, what are you accusing Herbalife of?
Of being a pyramid scheme. We believe Herbalife is a pyramid scheme.
Explain, what do you mean by that?
Well, Herbalife sells products, weight loss products, nutritional supplements, vitamins, things like that. But what they really sell and what their distributors make money from is by selling what they call a business opportunity. And the business opportunity is to sell the business opportunity to your friends, who in turn sell the business opportunity to their friends. You sign up to become an Herbalife distributor. You spend $55 or $100 to get a starter kit. And then eventually you're convinced to spend $3,000 to buy the minimum amount of inventory you need to acquire in order to become a supervisor.
And you got a business in a box that can make you a fortune.
And that's when you're entitled to get royalties from people beneath you in your so-called downline. These are the people you recruit.
What generates income are purchases. As products are purchased from Herbalife by those in your downline, they generate a commission upline. So as you build your downline and you recruit others, friends, family members, co-workers, it's their purchases that generate your commissions.
The secret is to get 5 other people to do the same thing every month. And teach them to get 5 other people to do the same thing every month. Before you know it, not only will you be a supervisor, but you'll have 5 supervisors under you. We'll have 5 supervisors underneath them. We'll have 5 supervisors under them. That's 155 supervisors. And if they're each doing about 2,000, 2,500 body points a month, you're going to be making somewhere in the neighborhood of $42,000 a month.
In fact, building a downline and product purchases are required in order for you to be eligible for income. So only about 17% of all distributors are eligible to earn anything from Herbalife. According to Herbalife's earnings statements, of those 17%, we know for sure 30% or so will earn $0, and approximately 48% will earn $1,000 or less gross earnings for the year. Once we deduct expenses and consider the fact that they have to maintain a purchase volume, the net income is negligible.
You're deceived into believing that this is a good business opportunity when in fact you're selling a shake for 3 or 4 times the price of Slim Fast. People can buy that in their supermarket. And those $3,000, $4,000, $8,000 inventory purchases that are inventory that's sitting in your garage that you can't sell are fueling paychecks for people at the very, very top of the pyramid who have hundreds of thousands of people beneath them. The top 50 Herbalife distributors make $3, $5, $7, $10+ million a year. And so it is Robin Hood in reverse.
But he claims today he has hundreds of hours of video, audio, documents to support his claims. On some level, you must be worried.
I'm not worried about the substance of what he has. This is anecdotal. It's very propaganda-based. What he's missing is that fundamentally, we've got millions of customers that enjoy the product, that use the product. That's indisputable. We actually had a release today from a former FTC economist.
What we don't really have good information on is, do Herbalife purchases translate into sales to customers who are not also distributors of Herbalife? Or are Herbalife purchases a mechanism for sustaining recruitment and sustaining commissions that have little to do with outside customers?
What the research shows is the majority of our distributors come and become distributors because of their affinity with the product, and they want to achieve a product discount. So effectively what they want to do is become distributors almost like members, right, of club members, just like in Costco.
The lack of evidence in terms of what portion of products ever leave Herbalife's distribution channel is part of the criticism and part of the wonder about whether or not this company can be a pyramid scheme.
Here's the reality. Our core training is for a new distributor who wants to build a business is they talk to 10 customers today, 10 people a day about the products and the business opportunity. I have never spoken to any distributor who is doing that, who's actively engaged, who is not making money.
Multi-level marketing, MLMs, just tap into beliefs we have in America that you really can accomplish whatever you want to. The rags to riches story that's there for everybody. Herbalife has done a great job reaching into the Hispanic market. The lower income immigrants have these hopes to find a successful life here, to set up a small business. Herbalife says, yeah, and here's how you're going to do it.
Okay, so we'll get everybody on one side. The beginning for me was Señor Felipe Colón. Him and his wife called me, talked about Herbalife. You know, I didn't know what it was or understand. When I went to his home, it was completely filled with product. He had it in his living room, his kitchen. He had it in his basement and in his garage. That's how much product he had that he could never move. But he continued to pay into it because he was told that he would make more money. And he's a very ethical man. So he said, I noticed after this time, Julia, that this is a scam. And I want my money back, he said. So I just said, you know what? Let's do a press conference and looking to see if there were any more victims out there. And of course, when we made that call out, the victims responded.
Where did you want to meet in here?
They're going to come here. They're all going to come up here. They'll be arriving soon. Okay, so this is an estimate, but I'm going to give you, okay, that.
This is unbelievable. They're just regular people.
Yeah, regular people and all the receipts and everything to support it.
You got a real mess here.
Pones con calorcito acá, por favor. Hola, señora. A majority of the group are undocumented, so they live in that insecurity. They are people who worked very hard, people who are paying taxes, and people who were violated. And they have a right to seek what they call justicia, justice.
Ya tengo un tiempo permaneciendo aquí en los Estados Unidos y siempre he trabajado con entusiasmo de hacer algo, pero este negocio llegué a perder la cantidad de $22,000.
Cada mes que uno estaba invirtiendo $1,600 o más, no estaba sacando lo que invertía, ni ganancias, nada.
Entonces dije yo, pues este es el negocio perfecto y en 9 meses yo perdí $16,000. Tener la ilusión de salir adelante.
Eres fuerte, ¿eh?
She has suffered a lot because her husband continuously reminds her about the $8,000 that she owes to them.
Gracias.
Me metí por Herbalife en parte de una amiga. Me decía mucho de la compañía. Yo le decía, no, yo estoy bien porque yo estaba trabajando, estaba ganando mi buen sueldo. Dije, no, está muy bien. Pero en el momento que ella se dio cuenta que a mí me habían descansado y ella llegó a mi casa a tocar, me dijo, Olivia, esta es tu oportunidad. Mira los cheques que a mí me llegan. Si tú inviertes tanto dinero, vas tú a ganar los 50%. O sea, vas a ser una supervisora Entonces es cuando nosotros lo realizamos, que no era tan fácil. El producto se vence. So, si no te decías, tratabas de venderlo por lo que tú lo compraste, es una gran pérdida. Ella sabía que yo no tenía ese dinero. Y ella está viendo, y le digo, siendo una amiga mía. Y yo dije, cuando le dije, oye, ¿qué pasó? Le dije, yo no le veo ninguna ganancia. Y dijo, tú tienes que meter a gente abajo de ti para que tú puedas ver una ganancia. Y le dije, ¿sabes qué? Ahí es donde tú te equivocaste. Le dije, porque yo realicé que esto es toda una estafa y yo no voy a estafar a nadie más. So, yo perdí, pero nadie más va a perder por mí. Nadie más. Yo no voy a ser parte de este juego, le dije. Porque todo es una pirámide y que el que está arriba es el que gana. Pero los que apenas van empezando, cuídate.
Así es. Y les digo,
Many immigrants migrate here for a better life. And if people want to prey on their lack of knowledge on finances, I find that despicable. And no one is doing anything. The Federal Trade Commission, the Attorney General. I mean, should we start making police reports?
Tal vez hablar sobre las opciones que tenemos, los diferentes caminos que uno puede escoger. Tal vez alguno decide, voy a ir a encontrar el propio abogado mío y luego... Pero la realidad es que en muchas de estas situaciones el que pierde es el que trae la demanda. ¿Qué tal si pierde su caso? Malgastó su dinero, mucho dinero. Otra opción es tratar de certificar un grupo, pero a recuperar nuestros daños hay que encontrar un despacho de abogados que se dedica a traer lo que se llama el Class Action Lawsuit. Los gastos los sacamos de lo que ganamos. Si perdemos, tú no pagas nada. Hice algún reviso de los casos en la Corte Federal y me encontré con uno que existe en esa manera en California. Tal vez podemos agregar nuestros nombres al grupo que ya existe.
Entonces usted puede investigar y si hay unos abogados que quisieran tomar el caso de class action.
Sí, ya lo empecé a buscar.
Todos de acuerdo, suben el mano. El que quiere seguir adelante con una demanda, unidos.
Confiamos en Dios y después de Dios en ustedes.
Amén.
So le pedimos, Padre nuestro, que nos ayudes a este grupo, Señor, a llegar a la justicia, Señor, y para que no haya más víctimas, Señor, para que no se caiga gente.
Another charge is that we're actually going after the Latino community because in some way this is an impoverished, uneducated group. If a supermarket chain opens up a new store in an area that is economically deprived, they're cheered and applauded because they're bringing good nutrition, they're bringing jobs to that community. And yet when we support the Latino community, in some way, this is a company going after people who aren't able to make an educated decision regarding good nutrition. I mean, frankly, it's insulting to us, it's insulting to our customers, it's insulting to the entire Latino community.
It's been happening community by community. Pyramid schemes are known for the pop and drop phenomenon. They need to find new victims. And there's an initial boom as a lot of people get excited about the opportunity to be an Herbalife distributor, and then as they run out of people to recruit and they find they can't sell the product, it busts.
80%, according to their SEC filing in 2005, of the people that had been in the scheme quit and were replaced. If you added all those up in a 5-year time, I mean, we're talking about an absurd machine here, churning through millions of people, promising them this utopian unlimited income, delivering almost nothing.
Since its founding in 1980, Herbalife has extended operations around the globe, expanding across 10 countries in their first decade to a current reach of 93 countries worldwide.
We've just opened up Vietnam this week, which is fantastic.
Why does that matter? Do people in Vietnam, they want supplements? They want to, what do they know? I mean, I'm not denigrating Vietnam, but I'm saying, how do you convince them that this is right for them?
Well, the company's success recently has been built on daily consumption. This is a meal. Vitamins, great nutrition, good minerals, carbohydrates, proteins, all that. Everybody needs a good meal in their life. Vietnam is 87 million people. 40% of the population is under 25 years old. They're looking for jobs. They're looking for income. And so we have this two-way street, health and wealth. Great meal, great business opportunity.
If they can grow globally, go to new markets, China, 1.3 billion people there, Latino immigrants into the U.S., These will keep the thing sustained for a bit longer. How long can they go? Nobody really knows.
But is there anything we can do for capacity? I mean, we should be prepared for 1 million people. I mean,
we are prepared for 1 million people. I'm doing everything I can. We have all 3 servers blazing right now.
Bill Ackman is on a holy war. Now, he may end up being wrong about Herbalife.
Have you ever tried Herbalife's product?
A sip. But actually, we heard very negative things about the manufacturing process. In fact, we're staying far away from it.
I mean, this is a guy who's one of the more precocious, confident, some people would say arrogant, activist investors on Wall Street. He has made himself a lot of money. He spends a lot of that money, private jets, beautiful apartments, houses in the Hamptons. He's a master exploiter of the media. People love to have him on. He always makes good copy, and he turns that copy into riches for himself. And it's, frankly, a brilliant strategy.
Look, P&G is one of the great companies of all time. It's been a growth.
I remember just sitting at my desk after more than a year of research. Bill Ackman was being interviewed about something completely different.
I'm confident they're going to do the right thing.
Real quick, you teased in the Value Investing Conference yesterday that you had a short position.
Yes.
A secret short position.
Yes.
Would you like to share your secret with us?
Not yet.
I'm sure he knew once you put this idea out there, everyone would want to know, what is this short?
I can't say.
We got to go to a commercial.
I'm happy to talk about it when we're ready to talk about it, but it's
Bill Ackman.
It's actually it's a good for America short. What I mean by that is, as soon as the company goes out of business, the country will be better off. Short selling. Imagine for a moment that a friend of yours collects rare coins, and you have the view that those coins are going to go down in value. So the way you would short those coins is you call up your friend and say, "Can I borrow a few of your coins?" And he says, "Sure." And you borrow the coins. You then sell them for the $1,000 each that they sell for in the market at the time. And then you wait for them to drop in value, and you turned out to be right, and the coins dropped in value to $500. You go back into the market, you buy them back for $500. You've sold them for $1,000. You've repurchased them for $500. You've made $500 on each coin. And then you return the coins to your friend. Your friend is in the same place he was when he started, and he has the same coins that he started with. You might have to actually pay him something for borrowing the coins because he loaned them to you. You might pay him an interest rate. So he's happy because he's made an interest rate. He's made interest lend you the coins. You've made money profiting from the decline in the value of the coins, and that's short selling. That's when it works.
But if you sell it at a high price and it goes higher, and it can go infinitely higher because the stock can go infinitely higher, then you're on the hook for that. So this is why it takes big cojones to short stocks, especially something as public and as big as Herbalife.
At the end of 2012, Ackman took to the stage for the first time to reveal his secret good for America short.
I want to point out a few things. We are short the stock of Herbalife. Herbalife stock goes down, we make money. Herbalife stock goes up, we lose money.
The December 2012 300-page presentation is incredibly detailed. It's overwhelming.
1% get 88% of the rewards.
When he advocates for an idea, he could sell ice to the Eskimos.
The recruiting rewards are substantially greater than the retail profit that they generate. If you're a chairman's club, you can lose a lot of money being short. So in order to be short a pyramid scheme like Herbalife and not get killed, you have to be prepared to share your thinking publicly. Well, let's put it this way. This is the best managed pyramid scheme in the history of the world. Mr. Johnson should get a lot of credit for that.
Hey, there's Herbalife stock down 14.6%. The news, Bill Ackman.
The reaction was stunning. I mean, they felt like, wow, people are getting out. They've seen something that scares them.
These guys are listening to a report that was generated by a research firm in New York, and we've sent her a legal letter. This is a ridiculous assertions by people who are trying to manipulate our stock.
What would you say to those who say that you are trying to manipulate the success of the company and therefore the stock price?
We simply want the truth to come out.
The moral argument that he's making is closely aligned with his financial interests, and that's why he can seem like he's holier than thou.
If you succeed, you're going to be donating the money, by the way, to charity. You said you called it blood money.
Yes.
Because
everyone says, well, you can't believe what he says because he's short the stock and he's going to profit from it, so you can't trust him. So by taking the economic part out of my investment, i.e. giving the money away, it's harder for them to make that argument. I am a moral person, but we are, again, managing capital for others, and it's actually in the best interests of our investors for us to bid against a company that's causing harm. Because those are the kind of companies that the government and regulators will be more likely to take action against.
Now, 2 years after his first Herbalife presentation, Ackman is set to make more revelations that he believes will deliver a death blow to the company.
All poor people are being exploited. The deception knows no bounds.
Yeah, it's incredible.
4 hours later, we get done with it. Great presentation. And some genius in the audience looks at the stock and it's gone up. What's our response?
Thrilled. It's not going up, though. The question is whether it opens again.
What can we come up with other than irrelevant? Something.
Stock's not going up. It's a certainty. Stock's irrelevant if it's not going up.
we are going to expose an incredible fraud in the way they fundamentally operate, these so-called nutrition clubs where they talk about places for people to get together and learn about good nutrition and lose weight. That's not what's happening at these venues.
Thank you.
Nutrition Clubs, Herbalife has a story. It's very eager to tell that story once Bill Ackman goes after the company.
Herbalife Fitness and Nutrition Clubs are at the heart of how Herbalife is helping people change their lives.
At a time when so many people in the United States are obese and overweight, and in the Latino community where those percentages are even higher than the national average, it's important that there's a company like Herbalife to send the message that we need to change our eating habits. We need to change our lifestyle.
Initially, I couldn't understand how it worked. How were lower income people finding the resources to run these clubs? And so I several times went to go look at some of these nutrition clubs. I noticed in Queens, Herbalife has a lot of them. It's an immigrant population from Mexico and Guatemala and Ecuador. You have to search to find them. If you're standing right in front of it, you can almost miss it. Tiny little stores with a green curtain covering the window. There is no sign saying this is an Herbalife club or hours of operation. Hello. They're supposed to be clubs. They're not supposed to be retail establishments.
It costs you $5,000 to $6,000, sometimes something greater than that, to open one of these things in terms of the startup costs. The rules are fairly interesting. You're not allowed to display the name of the company, the logo, or the words nutrition club or shakes, or any implication that it's an Herbalife business outside. You can't advertise and you can't promote. You're not allowed to attract customers.
Can I get a shake? Can I buy a shake? I'm doing research.
Research?
Yeah, I'm not a member.
Okay, fix it.
You go in and pay $5 a day. They would serve you a protein shake, the Formula One. You also drink an aloe water, and you drink an herbal tea.
So we looked at the economics of 10 nutrition clubs, and we had people sit outside, check traffic trends, people coming in and out, what the rent was, how big they were, how often they were open, estimate the utility costs, the startup costs, inventory costs per serving. When you do the math, you find out your average club, these are the 10 we went to in Queens, loses $12,000 a year. This doesn't seem to be a particularly good business model, and this is before paying for the person who runs the club. How do they make money? Well, tell them it's not about shakes. It's about something they call duplication. Let's hear it from the horse's mouth.
So even right now, because guys, where your money's made is not serving smoothies. Where your money's made is having hundreds or tens or thousands of distributors around the globe.
Here's a presentation on how nutrition clubs work from one of the top distributors. Important to remember, operators need to realize the end goal is not how many $4 services they sell each day, as that is not the way for them to achieve their financial goals. Rather, it's upgrading a consumer to become a customer and eventually a distributor, and ultimately having distributors become operators who will duplicate the nutrition club method. Note the duplicate again and again and again.
This is previously an Herbalife Nutrition Club. Yeah, so this is turned over. So the last 4 clubs that were here a year and a half ago are no longer clubs. There's too many in one neighborhood.
And what do you say to your critics who say, yeah, but the majority of your distributors do not make any money. They make less than $1,000 in an entire year and no commissions in a year.
I'd say $1,000. That's a lot of money to a lot of people. This is what these elitists don't get. That most people come in here for part-time income. They're not coming in here to recruit someone or build an organization. We know all the numbers.
Herbalife's lawyers will tell you that everyone gets pointed to the disclosure, but when you look at how it's sold person to person, there's a very clever system that drove a continually renewed group of people to come into the business. It's about a promise that you would make it to the president's team.
I promise you, if someone that was homeless, that was lost on the inside could do it, every last person breathing with a beating heart that was born from a mother and a father could do the exact same thing.
And they see these distributors put on stage at these extravaganzas, and they have pins with diamonds on them, and that's the American dream.
And President's team, that's basically $500,000 a year for the rest of your life.
And those are the top 1,000 out of about 3.9 million distributors.
All right, muchas gracias. So this club that I went into, they said to me, come back in 2 years and I'll be on the president's team.
You so want